Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. We've talked so much about offensive line recruiting in this class of 25. And of course, a big part of that is because of David Sanders. When you are the presumed leader for a five-star offensive tackle, the number 2 overall player in the country, that's going to generate a lot of talk, a lot of buzz, a lot of hype. And if Tennessee goes out and they land David Sanders, and I know a lot of doubt is still creeping in. What about Ohio State? Oh, is he going to take more visits? Now Nebraska seems to be more of a threat than we ever thought possible. But if we go and we land David Sanders, I think we're playing with house money in this class of 2025 for the offensive line. And, I've talked about it before. Yes, Glenn Ellerbe missed on those first couple of cycles, but you look at the class of 24, Bennett Warren, William Satterwhite, Max Anderson, Gage Ginther. This staff is happy with what Jeremiah Hurd is doing. They're happy with what Jesse Perry is doing. And then you fast forward, you look at the class of 2025, landing Douglas Utu was absolutely huge. And some of this goes along with what I just said, the offensive tackles, being happy with Bennett Warren, being happy with Gage Ginther, being happy with Jeremiah Hurd and Jesse Perry. They focus more interior, and you go get Douglas Utu, a guy that I wasn't really talking about enough, number 53 overall player in the country. That is a big-time get for this coaching staff. Nick Moore also ranked inside the on 300. You can look at a guy like Anthony Aguimoro, recently made a huge jump in the rankings up to number 444. I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see what Big Ant does in his senior season and watch those rankings continue to climb. But now we go into the final stretch. And again, if we get David Sanders on August the 17th, all this other stuff is house money. You got Juan Gaston coming off the board on August the 2nd. Tennessee, Georgia, quiet kid, doesn't talk a whole lot. Does Tennessee have a shot there? I think so. We'll see how it plays out. But then the guy that we're not really talking about a lot, and this guy grew up a Tennessee fan, we should probably be talking about him more, and that is five-star interior offensive lineman Josh Petty. He is set to commit on August the 12th. It's Florida State, it's Ohio State, Tennessee, Georgia Tech, and Stanford. So the question is, does Tennessee really have a shot here, right? Do they have a shot to go and get Josh Petty? And it was interesting because in the Monday night chat just this week, random poster, and look, they're a dime a dozen. Somebody pops onto a message board. I've got inside information. My cousin knows the janitor at Tennessee who's married to this person, who knows that person, who's second cousins with Josh Petty, told me he's a Vol lock. They're everywhere. But a random poster in the Monday night chat said, I'm hearing good things about Josh Petty. AP, are you hearing the same? Austin Price says he is still having plenty of dialogue with Tennessee. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean Tennessee's in it? Does that mean they're the leader? Does that mean they have a shot? Because this has been one of those weird recruitments, man. It's one of those weird recruitments where so many people in the national media are talking about other teams. They're talking about Florida State and how his sister attends Florida State. He wants to be with her. They're talking about Ohio State, Georgia Tech. Tennessee just kind of sitting back in the background, and Austin Price has to keep reminding us that Tennessee is recruiting Josh Petty. Tennessee is having dialogue with Josh Petty. Don't give up on Tennessee. The kid grew up a Tennessee fan. Don't call it quits. Tennessee is still in it. So do they really have a shot on the five-star interior offensive lineman? Because, again, I think we're playing with house money here. If you look at Josh Petty, he's ranked inside the top 30, 29th overall. You add a guy that's 29th overall on the interior. You add a guy in Douglas Utu that's 53 overall on the interior, and then you go add the number 1 offensive tackle in the country in David Sanders. Sign me up for that. But do they really have a shot? We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it. You guys know the deal by now. You've been here long enough. I need you to do the YouTube stuff. Help me out. Help the channel. Let's grow this thing. Smash the thumbs up. That's quick, free, and easy, and it helps the channel. Also, if you're new here, it's your first video ever, welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. We're not experts here. We're not insiders. We're not media. We don't pretend to be any of that stuff. We are fans. We're just like you guys. For the fans, by the fans. If you like what we do, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You're not going to miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. We're going to be live on Saturday. Don't know the time yet. Shady Hayward, 4-star safety, top 100 player, is scheduled to come off the board. Seems to be trending to Tennessee. We're going to cover that live on Saturday, so make sure you tune in for that. Tuesday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, playing EA Sports College Football. Having a good time. Undefeated against the chat. And then also next Wednesday, fall camp kicks off 7 p.m. Eastern time. We're going live. Eric Kane of VolQuest.com and Locked On Vols is going to be in the house talking all things fall camp. So make sure you come hang out for that. But let's get into it. Let's talk about Josh Petty. Again, a 5-star interior offensive lineman, 6'4", 265 pounds. Can On3 fix these ads? It's absolutely exhausting that they have ads that now cover the entire screen. 5-star interior offensive lineman, 6'4", 265 out of Georgia. Let's go take a look at the scouting report. This comes from 247 Sports. Gabe Brooks He's a scouting analyst over there. Says high-level offensive tackle prospect who could legitimately project as a Power 5 defensive lineman as well. Size, length are unverified, but looks the part on the hoof. Relatively lean with ample frame for space for adding mass. Be interesting to see. Listed as an interior offensive lineman there. Also talked about being an offensive tackle prospect. Be interesting to see what Tennessee does with him. And some of that is going to be obviously who you close on in this class of 25. Full-time two-way snaps and press on both sides of the ball. Quicker off the ball on offense than defense, but flashes surprising linear closing speed in pursuit. Georgia 2A state champion wrestler. You guys know I love that. 285-pound weight class as a sophomore. Wrestling prowess translates in body control and hand-to-hand combat strength. Can get punchier, but plays angry and finishes blocks. Mean streak is obvious. Motivated drive blocker who also climbs to the second level with relative ease. Young for the 25 cycle, naturally high center of gravity, but cognizant of leverage, firing off, and engaging defenders. Need more consistent measure of pass pro ability, but functional athleticism suggests ample potential. Will face a significant jump in competition going from lower level high school ball to high major level, but consistent dominance at multiple positions is promising. Ideally, verified information data will become available by the spring of 24. On-field evidence suggests immense developmental potential, even without full catalog of data. Could become a multi-year starter at a high major level with NFL draft early round upside. 247 Sports put out an update. And this, talking about crystal ball predictions, there's one crystal ball prediction that's been logged for Florida State. It says here the Seminoles received the first crystal ball pick for Petty, a senior at Fellowship Christian School in Roswell, Georgia, more than a month ago during his stretch run of official visits. He took officials to Stanford, Georgia Tech, Tennessee, Ohio State before ending his busy months of trips by visiting the Seminoles the weekend of June the 21st. His older sister is set to enroll at Florida State next month, and Petty plans to announce his commitment on August the 12th. He grew up liking the Vols, is rated a 5-star prospect by 247 Sports. So again, does Tennessee really have a shot here? Because all we're hearing about is Florida State. All we're hearing about is Georgia Tech. All we're hearing about is the other schools. Let's take a listen to what Steve Wiltfong had to say recently about Josh Petty.
Josh Petty has been trending towards FSU, but Ohio State, Tennessee, among others, also heavily involved. What's the latest with Josh Petty?
Yeah, my On3 RPM is on Florida State for Josh Petty. His sister goes to school there. Alex Atkins has done a fantastic job recruiting him. Offensive line coach, offensive coordinator, Mike Norvell. That offense, how balanced it is. They think it's a great fit for Josh and his skill set. Again, being able to go to college with his sister, I think is a big deal on his official visit. They got to eat lunch together. They got to eat dinner together. They got to walk on campus together. That made him and the family very comfortable. But Florida State's got some major competition as this decision nears. Chad Simmons and I both continue to emphasize that Georgia Tech is one of the major contenders here. They could keep him home. Brent Key, he is an offensive line guy. He's at his alma mater. Georgia Tech's in an exciting place right now as a program. It's close to home. So the Yellow Jackets are very much alive there. And Ohio State, they're pushing hard to add him to one of the top recruiting classes in the country. They sit at number 2 right now behind Alabama. But Josh Petty, David Sanders, they're in for both of those guys, and they're trying to make a late charge for Josh Petty as well.
So we take a listen to that. Ohio State trying to make a late charge for Josh Petty. He also mentions Georgia Tech, right? And how they're in an interesting spot and they are working for Josh Petty. What that tells me, the national media guys are saying this thing is likely Florida State, but Ohio State's making a push. They're saying Georgia Tech's making a push. Watch out for Stanford. They're sneaky in this thing. The national media is talking about anybody and everybody but Tennessee. Meanwhile, Austin Price continues to say Tennessee's having dialogue there. And don't get this twisted. I'm not saying that Austin Price is saying that Josh Petty is coming to Tennessee. What I'm saying is the conversations are still being had with Tennessee. They are still in it. Again, you go back a month or so ago when AP said, don't sleep on Tennessee. This kid grew up a Tennessee fan. Some interesting things changed and the dialogue opened back up. I would like to be a fly on the wall and know what happened there. The recruitment kind of stopped. And then it opened back up. And I don't know if that's position, if he wants to play interior, offensive tackle. I don't know what those conversations are, but something changed throughout this recruitment that got Tennessee back in the mix for Josh Petty. Again, most recently on Monday night, still having plenty of dialogue. What does that mean? The quote that he gave coming off of his official visit to Tennessee, he said they did a lot of things well. They showed me what kind of priority I am, how special this school is, and where I can go and what this school can do for me. Midway through my recruitment, I felt iffy about Tennessee, but this really helped. Growing up a Tennessee fan and being able to go on this official visit was special for sure. And then when Austin was asked about that, AP said this recruitment's just different. He said it wouldn't shock me if he picked the Vols, wouldn't shock me if he picked Georgia Tech, wouldn't shock me if he picked Florida State. But Tennessee very much still in this thing. Again, we go get David Sanders, boys. We're playing with house money, but Tennessee has a shot to go and get Josh Petty. Tennessee has a shot to go and get Juan Gaston on August the 2nd. We'll continue to keep you updated. Jump in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Go check out the Talkin VAWLS merchandise, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Also, if you want to support the channel, think about becoming a member. You can hit that join button right over there beside subscribe. It's just $1. $1 a month. We're about to fire back up the fan call-in shows. That's where you guys get to come on the show Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, Talkin VAWLS Elite and higher. So if you dropped your membership in the offseason, think about picking that back up. Looking forward to getting on here and talking some Tennessee football with you guys. But that is going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.